Hi there, welcome back to my garden. It's Ann at Martin House Flowers. In today's video, I am going to be planting up some delphiniums in my north-facing back garden here. I've got my bloomstruck hydrangeas. There's 3 of them here, some hostas just down the way. You might hear my fountain going. And I normally have 3 delphiniums here, but I noticed that only one of them overwintered, and they think it's even the original one. So I picked up 2 more delphiniums from the same place, just my local nursery at the Meyer chain of grocery stores. They always have a really nice nursery, and you just have to, take what you can early on in the season. So I will also be planting up in today's video my 2 large containers that are sitting on the front driveway. I have 2 large gray containers that have tulips and daffodils in there that we planted up together in February. And when I got back from my week in Toronto, I noticed they were spent. So we'll pull those out and plant up some Proven Winners annuals today. So let's get started with the delphiniums. Thanks for being here, and I hope you will share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, I'd look forward to hearing any comments from you. Do you plant delphiniums in your garden? And what are your favorite perennials? Okay, so hopefully you can see this angle. I did plant some asters over here from seed because I ran out of space in my raised garden bed. So I don't know how those are going to do, but I want to put 1 delphinium right here just so that it creates a nice cluster. And I'm going to dig up this one that was over here that pretty much don't even have to dig up, as you can see. They just came up so loosely, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, I'm not sure about these asters over here, but they're just annuals. So I think I'm just going to plant them right here. That way, I mean, they are quite close to this bloomstruck hydrangea, but this last branch over here, this top branch, just kind of goes here max. So I don't know. I also have another one of those florist hydrangeas back there, and I haven't yet decided about these daylilies. Not sure if you can see them in this view, but I have 3 of my last Stelladora daylilies that have been moved around my my garden several times. The builder planted a bunch of them, and I just kept moving them around in my south-facing garden and finally moved the last group here. So maybe out of the sake of nostalgia, I don't know, I'll leave these here for now. After they finish blooming, I might decide to pull them out. I'm kind of done with them. I hate how they look after. So in any case, I think this trio here will be good. Gosh, it's a little cool today. So I'm going to try and dig out using my little kitty shovel here that has a broken handle, but is really ideal for these small pots. Okay, so I moved the camera because I could tell that this hydrangea was blocking this planting hole. So Eddie is kind of hovering around us, so I'm going to try to keep this espoma away. I'm certain that he can smell it. So I've dug the hole already, which sadly it wasn't very visible, but it took just a few minutes. Just going to put a handful of this espoma. And this first one here, it's hard to tell whether or not this is the dark purpley blue over here. It probably is. So this one is the Delphinium Magic Fountains mixed. So I don't know if you can see the picture, but it's usually a combination of light blues, purples, blues. So we'll see what they are. I tried to pick one that had multiple stems, if you will, down at the base. So the roots are pretty nice and healthy, not root bound. I don't need to loosen that very much. I did try to plant some Delphiniums from seeds last year in my raised garden beds, my cut flower beds, and sadly they didn't do that well. But this year I have a row of larkspur that I'm hoping will do well. So far they look pretty good. So that just took a minute. So I'm hoping that these do well. What's going on? Are you smelling stuff? What's going on, bud? And then this other one here, I'm going to plant right here behind the Stellador daylilies. I think that'll be nice because they're nice and tall. So what's going on? Sorry. Andy's off. Probably saw a friend. So this one is the Delphinium Magic Fountains Dark Blue. Oh, the roots are pretty. Oh, looks like a mature plant with the roots. So almost root bound. So we'll just loosen that up. Quite windy. Greg's probably going to have something to say about me planting this so close to the downspout. But we'll see what happens. I faced it this way because the sun will be more prevalent on this side. But between these three, you should do okay. All right. Then I have some asters in between. I think those are aster seeds. Who knows if they'll come up. So I've got the biotone in there. I just need to be nice to get some more mulch in here. So that's that. I'll just get the hose link out and water those in, and then let's move on to the containers. So there's the one just in front of the downspout, the blue, the dark blue, purpley blue. This is the original one in the front of the triangle, and then on the left there is the mixed one that probably has some light blue. By the looks of the bloom that's there, it looks pretty light, so it's probably a light blue. And there you can see the asters in the middle. And here are the bloom structs and my fountain over there. Okay, so I'm here on my front south-facing garden, and this is one of the 2 containers that I want to plant up today. Eddie is quietly, I say quietly, he's finally sitting on the driveway while Greg is trying to do a call inside. So I had planted in here, as you can see, some daffodils, and I had some tulips that for some reason they were all yellow and white. I don't know. I thought I had planted some other things like grape hyacinths, but they didn't seem to come up. So, and in this container, and look at my beautiful iris, it's about to burst open. Maybe I'll include in my next video, if not this one, when these open up. And I'll take you over to the peonies, my Sarah Bernhardt, that's just ready to bust open. And it's only been a day since my last video. So anyway, I digress. For the center taller plant, the focal flower, or the thriller, spiller, and filler, I just looked in the greenhouse quickly because I didn't find a thriller at the garden center, but I have these Kilimanjaro white marigolds that we planted together from seed, and I have 4 of them here. Actually, there's more than 4. There's like 2 seedlings in this one corner. There's like, gosh, 3 in one, 2 in another, 2 or 3. So I'm going to take one of the cells and plant them in the middle, and they grow pretty tall. So I'm kind of excited. They're a pale yellow, which this this one here, this let's see, this is the Proven Winners Super Bell's Magic Pink Lemonade, and I grew these last year, and I got them on clearance at the end of the summer with I put them in my tall containers that have obelisks and sweet peas right now. But anyway, I found these last year, end of season, and I found them over at Meijer yesterday. So I'm going to use these as my filler. I have 6 here, I think. 1, 2, 3. So I want to be able to put 3 per container. Yes, good. I bought 6. And then I bought 2 of these that I think I'm going to put on the patio. These are the Supertunia Mini Vista Plum Veined. So I don't think I want to mix those today. I just want to do the 3. And then for my spiller, I have Lemon Coral Sedum that I fell in love with, that I have in my greenhouse. So let's start building that. So hi, Eddie. Eddie, you going to be good? Quiet? He already got a warning from his dad that he could hear him barking while he was on a call. So this is the container that I have. I have 2 of these at the front on my driveway here, just off the driveway. And I planted in February with you some, oh, my mat is wet, tulips and daffodils that are clearly spent. We planted these together in the garage in February. And as much as they're not quite dried up, some of them are, I'm going to go ahead and pull them out and might just plant them in the landscape if I can find a spot. So I'm just going to pull out the entire bulb. And for now, I'm just going to put them in my collapsible Fiskars tub here. I'm going to try and preserve all of the soil because honestly, I forgot to get some soil. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do, let's see if I lay it out. I think 3 of those in one lemon coral sedum in the front, and then 1 marigold in the middle should be fine. These marigolds got a little bit taken over by my veggie garden in the kitchen garden, so I'm hoping this pale yellow Kilimanjaro white marigold will look good here. I think it'll pick up on the light lemon yellow that's in here. It's just really pretty. And then I'm going to have the coral geraniums line up on the pathway. So it's a nice healthy root system there, and there's 2 in here. I'm going to leave them alone. Leave them together is what I mean to say. So there's a close-up. I think that's going to be really pretty with the marigold in the middle. Kilimanjaro white marigold, which is really a lemon yellow, and the pink lemonade, and the lemon coral sedum. And look, the bunnies did not get those lupins. And there's my irises that are about to burst open. Let's look up close at these peonies. Look at that. Oh, there's one right there. It looks like a marshmallow. Look at that. This is the time that you want to cut your peonies and refrigerate them to preserve them a little longer if you want to cut your peonies. But I'm not going to do that. Isn't that going to be a gorgeous backdrop with Kiss Me Kate back there? you go. I'm going to check the time and see if it's time to pick up the youngest one from school yet. So I'm sitting in my front south-facing garden right at my front porch with my peonies and my alliums, and you've often heard me talk about Kiss Me Kate on the wall there that's ready to bloom soon. And I had beautiful Darwin tulips blooming along here, and I think it's safe. They are on their, gosh, third year at least, and I think it's safe enough to cut these back. Most of the leaves have disintegrated to the point where I don't even have to cut them when they're falling off like this. Then you know it's safe. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these or trim them down, and then I'm going to plant my geraniums along here. So I think just for the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and plant the geraniums first, because then I can see where my Munstead lavender is, as well as where the tulips were. Plan is to kind of plant them alongside the lavender. I think the coral next to the purple are going to be beautiful. Last year I had I think they were almost a coral fuchsia. No, they were a fuchsia pink, sorry. Sunshine and Patience that looked beautiful here, but they really struggled with the south-facing heat and the sun, and they just looked really sad most of the time if I wasn't watering them on a daily basis, if not twice daily. So the geraniums in the past for me have always done really well and love the sun and heat. So I'm going to go ahead and plant those up. I think I have 6, and I'll just see how far they go. And then I will probably go out later today and grab some more geraniums for along this side. And my goal next year, since I do grow a lot of annuals from seeds, is to try to get my hands on some geraniums from seeds. So if you guys have sources for that, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And so let's just get going on this and get this done, because I have to go pick someone up from school in a few minutes or half an hour. So let's see how fast we can get this done. So the leaves that are still a little green, I'm going to let them just sort of naturalize and put some geraniums right there in front, and that'll kind of camouflage them. So it looks like I have 9 geraniums, so I might even have enough to go on the opposite side. These have been, I've had these for at least 2 weeks, and they've had a chance to really bloom out just sitting in these containers. So I'm glad that they weren't root bound, but the roots are pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put some biotone down on the roots. I'm just using my Japanese knife, but I probably should grab my little shovel, but they're such small cells. I think this should be enough. So that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed me planting out my annuals, my geraniums, my containers, and some delphiniums. So we'll see you in the next video. We have lots more to plant, so hope you'll join me. Take care. Bye-bye.